American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, we should be together, Democrats, Republicans, independents, everybody, and it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided.
He's absolutely right. There is renewed attention this morning on securing our elections after President Trump's address to the nation. And today we have reaction from former Mesa County, Colorado Clerk Tina Peters, along with Colonel Conrad Reynolds, both advocates for election integrity. We're happy to have them here on the show with us today. We'll be talking to Tina, and we'll also be talking to the Colonel about their reaction to the president's speech last week, and also Tina's time in prison and where we go from here. We're going to take a quick commercial break and have both of them when we come right back. Stay with us.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
All right, let's bring in Tina Peters, Colonel Conrad Reynolds, both advocates for election integrity. So good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here with us, coming to us live from Washington, D.C. Tina, we will start with you. You were the lead of this broadcast for many mornings. We were advocating for you, along with millions all across the country. Your attorney, Peter Tickton, he came on the show often. And when the news broke that Governor Jared Polis was commuting your sentence, I think we heard a nationwide earthquake from everyone jumping up and down with joy. So it's good to see you and talk with you today. Let's talk about that. How has life been since your release?
It has been a whirlwind. Thank you for having me on today. I'm grateful, so grateful for the many people that have stood by me through all of this. The prayers, the financial support, everything. I mean, I even had over Memorial Day, the faithful J6 crew that was outside the prison for 72 hours straight. And all the officers were freaking out, telling the prisoners, get away from the windows, get away from the windows. They don't want to see what freedom looks like. They don't want you to see what freedom looks like. And I would just walk by the window and give a big, big hearts. And so grateful, so grateful. That is what kept me going for all those months, almost 2 years being incarcerated. So thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a whirlwind since I've been out, and we can talk more about that.
Absolutely. And we saw a video of that, you giving that heart to the crowd there. We see you waving. So that was always good to see. When that video came out, we were all smiling because at that moment we knew that your days were numbered, your hours were numbered until you could taste freedom once again. How did your time in prison change you, not only personally, because you did spend 2 years there, but also politically?
People never gave up. They knew that to incarcerate someone, especially to the length of time of 9 years, was it just didn't look right to Americans. They knew that the Gold Star mom someone that had served her country as an elected official, and actually brought out information in the Mesa County Reports 1, 2, and 3 that if anyone has not read those, at least read the executive summaries on tinapeters.us. I think it resonated that if they could do that to me, they could do that to any one of us.
You're absolutely right. And so, what's your message for other clerks or election workers out there? If they maybe spot something, they may see your case and then be worried to come forward.
Well, God will make a way. If he calls you to it, he'll see you through it. And throughout the whole time I was in prison, I never stopped believing that God had a plan, that he was going to see me through, and that too would serve a purpose. And so what I would say to people is, if you see something, say something, please, for heaven's sakes. When I say they, I'm speaking generally of the criminals, Jenna Griswold and all the deep state people that would try to keep this a secret, what we found out. They know that if they can instill fear into you, that they can keep you silent. And this is a time where we can't stay silent. We are, when I met with the president a few weeks ago, I said, Mr. President, I said, if we don't fix these machines, I said, we are going to lose this country. And I'm so grateful to him, thankful to him that he has declassified information showing that our elections are not secure. And, Colonel Conrad and I were just talking about that if we don't do something, if we don't say something, that, it's worse than, being silent is being part of the problem. Don't you agree?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And I don't think America is silent any longer. And I'll tell you too, Tina, right now I'm looking at our live chat and there are so many people commenting, fans of yours right now. I can't keep up with all the comments that are coming in. So the people love you and they have supported you from the beginning and they're going to continue to support you through and through. You are a national treasure. Even President Trump said that the Free Tina Peters movement became the rallying cry of the Republican Party over the last 2 years. And I know you knew all of this was going on while you were in prison. And I know that that's what kept you going every single day. You met with the president, like you just mentioned. We talked about the machines. Colonel Conrad, I want to go to you now. You have been a huge advocate for burning down and melting down, as Mike says, melt down the machines and turn them into prison bars, not only in Arkansas, but across the country. What was your reaction when President Trump declassified all of this information last week?
Well, I was really excited because this gives an opportunity for the Secretary of States and all the governors who have resisted doing any type of election integrity and changing from these machines to hand-marked paper ballots that are hand-counted. They've been resisting that. I'm from the state of Arkansas, and I will tell you that even our governor, even as of Friday, she sent out a tweet basically saying that, our elections are secure. They're not secure. All you have to do is look what the president declassified. Look what Secretary Mullen has put out. This is a warning shot over the bow of every one of these states, every one of these governors, every one of these secretaries of states. Get your act together. Okay, we understand that these machines have to be removed, and we need to do it before November. And that is the reason that Tina and I are up here in D.C. now. We're trying to make the push to let people understand we can make this transition to hand-marked paper ballots that are hand-counted throughout the country before November. We must do it. We cannot patch these machines. And I think that the president's address last Thursday is the first of many to set the stage to let these states know now's the time. We're not going to wait until 2028. We've got to do something now in 2026.
That's right.
You're absolutely right. And you mentioned Secretary Mullen. We have video of him speaking about the machines here recently in the last couple of days. Let's take a quick listen to what he had to say.
Talking about our machines, we know for sure that our foreign adversaries, not our allies, foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these machines. We know that they can change voter registration and your vote. We know it's possible. There's not a question. It's not even for debate. One thing that I love about numbers and I love about facts is they don't lie. This isn't something that I'm trying to tell you to spin a narrative. This is what is going on. And what we are saying is that every state should partner with us to work to secure this. Once we identify the problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick, we are going to make our security enhancements mandatory, meaning that if these states want a grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal elections, they're going to have to implement security issues. Just security issues. We're not trying to get into anything else, but we're saying that the machines have to be secured and that your voter registration list needs to be scrubbed. We need to make sure that individuals that are legally able to vote are voting.
Colonel Conrad, your reaction to what he just said.
Everything that we've been preaching for the last a year and a half. In fact, we put a AVII, the organization that I'm in charge of, we put a paper in front of the president, basically listing this very thing that the Chamber of Commerce right now, not Chamber of Commerce, but the Secretary of Commerce right now can ban these machines because of the foreign parts that they have in them. We already know that. Now it's the reports being declassified that show that they're vulnerable, and every state is vulnerable that has these machines. They have to get rid of them. I'm super happy that they are working, that DHS is working with the Secretary of Commerce in order to fix this problem, because the Secretary of Commerce right now under critical infrastructure can make sure that none of these machines can be used because they can't be certified with these parts in them. They cannot be. And we've been saying this for a long, long time. I'm glad it's coming out now. And I hope we have enough time in order to transition to paper ballots by November. It's important for our republic. It's important for the American people, for their vote to count. And that's what we're fighting for here in Washington, D.C. today.
I have a team of people here, amazing, amazing intelligence that flew in from all over the country to be here right now in DC. So we're at the disposal of Mark Wayne Mullen. We're at the disposal of anyone in the administration that would like to have the information, not just what's been done. We have that. We've proven what's been done. We've proven what's happened in the voter registration. We've proven what's happened in the machines. We can demonstrate it. But we also have the solution on how we can go forward. So we want to partner with the administration right now and help them with a path forward. We don't want to just patch the machines. We can't do that. I think, Colonel and I both agree, and I think every American agrees, that you cannot go forward with this election that's coming up with patches on these machines, with halfway acts of let's just get through this election and then we will fix it. We have a plan to fix it now, and we want to partner with Americans to get it done.
I'd like to add one other thing, is that the political realities that we're facing is incredible. The machine companies have got a stranglehold on all the state legislatures, the governors across this country. It has been hard to get their attention to change anything. Even in my little state of Arkansas, 63% of the people in my state do not want machines. They won't hand-marked paper ballots, but there's not one legislator, not one representative, not one senator or state senator, none of our constitutional officers. They're all against us 100%. How is that possible?
Why?
How is that possible?
You have to ask why.
Exactly. So, and it's not just in Arkansas, it's across the country. So that's why I told President Trump last July, we cannot push strings from the bottom. They have to be pulled from the top. I am so relieved that we're doing that now, and with Secretary Mullen out front. And I think that this is going to be a game changer for our November elections. I really do.
Let's talk more about that. You mentioned in Arkansas, where you're from, that you have hit some roadblocks with the legislators, with Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. What's that been like? Why aren't these people listening to their constituents?
They just refused to do it. We had Rasmussen did a poll in October of 2023, which clearly showed the vast majority of people in our state do not want these machines, and Republicans is 73%. And we have a supermajority in the House, in our Senate. We have all 4 constitutional officers that are Republican, but not one Republican is standing up for the people of our state. Who are they standing up for? They're not representing us. And we've gone over and over in this. And I'm telling you, they've used lawfare just like they did against Tina. They're using it against me to make sure that they shut our voices up. We're not going to shut up. We're going to keep fighting because our country's worth it and our liberty is worth it. And that's what we're doing in Arkansas. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way life is right now. And we're going to get President Trump, Secretary Mullen to fix it.
That's right. And liberty is precious.
Absolutely.
You know, when you've been thrown in prison for almost 2 years, you realize how important your voice is. And that should make every American stand up and call the White House, you know, call your representatives. They will listen if you call. I remember a story, if I can tell it real quick. We were down on the mall and here in DC, and a young man came up to me in the green room, the Fox green room, and came up to me and he said, you know, I was an intern in the White House. He said, every day we got thousands of calls and they have to answer them personally saying free Tina Peters. And so just know that everyone out there, your voice really does matter. It really does matter. So call your legislators, call the White House, call, you know, whoever is supposed to be representing you and say, you're not representing me unless you get this done, and you can get it done now. We can't pass the buck. We don't have the time to sit back. We need the Senate to confirm the EAC members. And there's so much to do, but we can do it. We've got a plan to get it done, don't we, Colonel?
We do. And we're going to help the president do it and execute it right now. If they would, you know, we're looking for any audience we can get right now in Washington, D.C. to help them do it.
Let's talk about the Save America Act. It's been stalling in the Senate. Can't get much action there, if any at all. Do you really think that we'll see a change before November when it comes to showing your photo ID? You know, we're knocking on the door of August. Elections are in November. We still have some primaries to go, including Mike Lindell for his race for governor in Minnesota. Just about anyone can vote in our elections. And Congress, as we know, they're going on a long vacation for several weeks here very soon. So it's kind of scary to know that time is not on our side.
Well, this ought to tell every American who's watching this, why is it that over 80% of the American public want the SAVE Act, support the SAVE Act, but yet
That's right.
Congress will not do anything with it? Everybody ought to be asking the question and calling the representatives and calling their senators and saying, why aren't you supporting this? I mean, not just supporting, why aren't you out front on the steps of the Capitol saying you support this and encouraging all of your fellow members to support it? That is the problem we have right now. And it's plain for everybody to see. They're not representing the people. They're not representing the people. And we need the SAVE Act desperately. And I hope that they pass it. I hope that they see the light and do it and quit playing these games of saying, yeah, we're going to look at it. Oh, we're going to attach it to another bill. No, pass it now, Congress. The people of America deserve it, and you must do it.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, why wouldn't you want to show ID? You know, I was just seeing where I think it was Olive Garden or one of these fast food restaurants, to be able to go to the salad bar or something like that, you had to actually show an ID, you know, and
Right.
the thing of it is we have so many protections around, you have to go to the clerk's office to register your vehicle. You have to do all these things. But then the most precious thing that is for our freedom and our liberty is you don't even have to show an ID. And you have to ask your representatives, why aren't you for this? The people are for this. And if you're not, then you're not for the people. And I think it's a travesty. And I don't think they should be able to take a recess and go on vacation and do all the things they do. You know, just like when they wouldn't fund the government. Well, then let's cut off their pay. There has to be consequences to these legislators that are not legislating for the people. And you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah, I'll interject. I was told last February, by a congresswoman that the machine companies, these voting machine companies, have a lot of power on Capitol Hill. And I said, well, that is the very reason we need to get rid of them. That is the very reason. And I told this congresswoman, why aren't y'all doing something about it? And the answer was excuse after excuse after excuse. And the real question is, if the American people want this, they work for us. Obviously, the machine companies, the people that are influencing them, apparently have more power than their constituents. That's a problem. It's a problem here in America, and we're going to try to fix that.
That is a problem. I mean, why is it that a vendor can have so much power over our government?
Right.
I mean, you have to ask yourself that question as well. Why are these vendors have so much power over our government? Non-elected individuals that are doing this. So we're right behind the president and Mark Wayne Mullen, and we're excited about the outcome. We can do this before the election,
but we have a short time.
We have a short time.
And that's why Tina and I are physically here, because we only have a few weeks in order to get this done. But we can get it done. We know it's possible. It's not a problem, but we've got to get people to act. And so hopefully we'll get that done while we're here.
There is a path forward.
That's right.
Yes, and Tina, I want to say we're going to talk about it a little later in the show at Olive Garden. It's their pasta pass that you have to have a photo ID in order to get the pasta, because people are violating the system. They're more secure than our elections over at Olive Garden. And so we're going to look at a couple of viewer comments on that, because people on the internet have been having fun with how much secure it is to eat spaghetti at Olive Garden than it is to vote in our election. So we'll talk about that later in the show. Colonel Conrad, I want to go back. Go ahead.
I was going to tell you, let me tell you something. Be grateful for Olive Garden, because prison food is really bad. And if we don't get this SAVE Act passed, everybody might be eating prison food. And you know, it's funny to say that, but I'm serious. I really am. I'm serious. We've got to get this passed.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And, you know, Colonel Conrad, I want to tell you, too, when it comes to your meeting with Congress, and you said, you know, it was excuse after excuse after excuse. Why do these voting machine companies have so much power over Congress? It has to be money under the table. I mean, there's really no other reason. They have so much power because they have so much money. And so when money, as you know, the good Lord says it, it's the root of all evil. And so that's where the power, I believe, in my opinion, comes from. But you're both there again in DC. You're both going to be lobbying for secure elections, rallying to secure, you know, a couple of months from now, we're going to have our big midterms that are so vital and so important to the future, not only of our country, but what President Trump can do for the rest of his term. I know you don't want to give too many details, and I'm not asking you to do so, but any preview of how big and important these meetings are for the both of you coming up this week?
Well, it's really big, but let me say one thing. We're most of the way there already. And so they make it look like this is almost an insurmountable problem. It's not. Out of the over 3,142, I think, counties that we have, less than 900 of those counties, okay, have it where they have touchscreen computers and don't have paper ballots. The rest of them have a hand-marked paper ballot, and all we got to do is not put them through a tabulator. We can hand count them. It's not that difficult. We can make it happen in America if there's the will. We got to get the people to stand up and call the representatives and say, you got to make this happen. But our meetings this week, we've got several lined up right now. Don't want to talk about the details of that, other than we believe that we're going to have an opportunity and have an audience that's going to listen to us, and that we're going to get something done. We've got to. Our republic depends on it, to be honest with you.
Dana, I have to say, kudos to you. I mean, what a Wonder Woman you are, because a lot of times people are released from prison. And in your case, you know, you were put in prison over your election concerns. And then instead of going home and being with your family and starting a new life. You get out and you see your family, but then you hit the ground running again because you know just how important it is for our country to have secure elections. So you jumped right back into the fight. Was this something that you decided while you were in prison? I'm not going to give up when I get out. Was it the American people rallying behind you that gave you that push to keep moving forward? What was the deciding factor for you?
Well, I never stopped when I was in prison. So my show went on. My producer kept doing my show, and we kept getting the word out. I was like a horse in the starting gate at a race. I was like, "Oh Lord, please, how much longer? I've got to get out of here. We have the midterms coming up. We have, I would sit there and watch the news, and I would say, okay, Spanberger's going to win by 51%. I didn't have a crystal ball. She won by 50.8%. I know how these machines work. I know how the registration game works. I did it. I was a clerk. I dealt with it. I ran for Secretary of State. So all during the time my time in prison, I was still gaming out what we would do, what we could do to make this happen, to change the landscape, and to get rid of the fraud in the machines, in the databases, and all of this. So I never stopped. So when I got out, and by the way, you're right. They took my family from me. They've taken everything from me. And so it's almost like I remember Jenna Griswold said on MSNBC, or one of those awful bought and paid for channels. She said, Tina Peters, she's a dangerous woman, and excuse me for saying this. I'm a Southern Christian woman, but you're damn right, Jenna Griswold. I'm a very dangerous woman. I'm dangerous to you and to anybody else out there that would try to steal this country and use uh, the trusted build, and use the gold standard and all the other words that you try to say, and that people out there across this country, even Republicans, try to say that our elections are secure. They're not. And so, yes, I hit the ground running when I got out. I get about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, excuse me, sleep a night. We were up till the wee hours of the morning this morning, and here we're up talking to you. So we don't have a lot of time, and people have to realize this is an important race, and we're going to win it if everybody pulls together.
Yeah, Vanessa,
Go ahead.
I'd like to point out one other thing real quickly, and that is, again, is this lady's a hero. She's been a hero to many Americans, and for her fight and for her willing to go to the end. I mean, 2 years in jail for her freedom in order to fight this fight. She was being attacked by Democrats, but I will tell you, it's not a Democrat and Republican issue. I'm in Arkansas, and the Republicans in Arkansas are attacking me, and I'm a Republican. They're attacking me because I dared push for paper ballot. I'm the face of paper ballots in the state of Arkansas, and they had to try to shut me up. And they arrested me for ordering, of all things, doing an exit poll in 2024. Okay, they waited a whole year. The Attorney General, who's the right-hand person for Governor Sanders, arrested me for ordering, and I still have to go to trial for that. They're using lawfare, and a lot of times it's the punishment. It's the process that's the punishment.
That's right.
They want to make you have to pay. They want to destroy your family, try to destroy your reputation. This is what they're trying to do to maintain control of these elections and use machines in these elections. And it's a Republican Democrat thing. And that's why President Trump did the right thing last Thursday. And that's why Secretary Mullen is doing the right thing. We have to fix this, and we got to fix it now.
And it's interesting, if I can add one more thing about the exit polls. They do not want people counting or talking to anyone that's just voted, because it proves the point that people are not voting to raise their taxes like that's showing up in these results. They're not voting for abortion. They're not voting for most of these judges, DAs, Secretary of State, governors.
Right.
They're not being elected. And anyone that's seen the movie Selection Code, they're being selected. So we're here in Washington, D.C. To join with the American people to stop what's going on.
Well, we're so grateful for both of you. As we start to wrap up here, Tina, I have to ask you, We know that you're still continuing to fight, and we're so grateful for that. But what's the next chapter like for you? I know you're going to continue to, go around the country being vocal, but does it concern you that they're going to try to attack you again? I'm sure that hasn't stopped. What's the next chapter like for you?
Well, I'm still under the Colorado Department of Corrections. I'm serving parole right now. And so they are going to try to trip me up. After I met with the president, all of a sudden I have to go in now. Every time I'm out of the state, I have to go in for a drug and alcohol test. Well, I don't do drugs and I don't do alcohol. That wasn't even one of my charges. But I am a threat because of my words. I was sentenced because of what I said about elections. And so they will keep coming after me. But you know what? And like I told Lara Logan, I said, she says, what if they kill you? And I said, well, then I'll be with my son. We have to, if you can be swayed by money, power, position, or fear, you can be compromised. And so when you can't be persuaded by those four things, I have no fear. I'm not persuaded by money, power, position. I didn't seek to be here in this fight, but it's a worthy fight, and I will continue on, regardless of the consequences.
You're going to make me cry on air, Tina. If something were to happen to you, that the end result, when you close your eyes, you will be with your son, a Gold Star mother. We think about that constantly and pray for you during that phase of your life as well, knowing that you have to move forward for him as well every day. Another hero in our country, and we thank him for his service. We thank you for your service. I'm going to ask both of you now as we wrap up, any final words to the American people on just how important it is to secure our elections?
And now's the time to stand up. Now is the time to call your representative, call your congressman. Now's the time to send a message to the president, to Secretary Mullen, to get this done. And we need to get it done now. And don't wait. This is the one time you need to do this, because if we don't do it now, November could be devastating for our country. So that's important.
And I would say I've assembled a team of stellar, amazing individuals that are patriots. Most of them, well, all my team do it for free. I mean, they do it for the American people, the same as me. We need to be funded. People can go to tinapeters.us, give to our production company that goes around tirelessly. I mean, the one that is producing this show on our end today, I think he may have gotten 2 hours sleep a night. The other one who has shown how the machines work, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours. But if you can support us, we will do this for free, but we really could use your support so that they can keep feeding their families and we can get the job done. So thank you so much. I'm just beyond grateful to the people out there that are helping us in this fight.
And we are beyond grateful for you. We're beyond grateful for Colonel Conrad Reynolds. Thank you both so much for being advocates and a huge voice for the American people. You are appreciated. Colonel Conrad, it was good seeing you Saturday at Bedminster. And Tina, we missed you there at Bedminster, but it's good to see you on the show today. Words can't describe how much you're loved and how much the American people just support you and are so proud of you. Welcome home. And thank you both again for all of the hard work that you do.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
It's very
you,
an
Vanessa.
honor. Thank you.
Thank you.